Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. So, sometimes we want to support the little guy or, buy local. We don't want to support giant corporations, things like that. And one of the products that a fellow viewer like you, suggested to me or asked me about was a product called the Sublime Express Wash from the Gloss Shop. And here we go. There we go. All right, so anyway, the Gloss Shop is owned by Richard Wright, a 24-year veteran of the military, and his wife. And actually, as of July 4th, right now it is July 20th, something like that, 24th. As of the July 4th holiday, he actually retired from active service and is now focused on growing the company. But he started the company back in 2012. He's been a detailer for 30 years. In fact, he did all this stuff because he was a mobile detailer, so nearly everything he has is outdoor mobile detailer friendly, and this is no exception. So what is so special about the Sublime, the Express Wash? Well, number one, it has no polymers in it. It is surfactant based, no polymers, waxes, anything like that. It leaves no protection. In fact, he says it's strong enough when you dilute it a little bit higher. It is strong enough to actually break down some weaker, cheaper waxes out on the market there. And I have no doubt about that because, in fact, let me show you something. In fact, let me flip this around. All right, so when I started testing the Sublime, the Rinseless Wash, what happened was I had bought a new DIY Detail Legacy sponge, and I've used these, at least they've been washed with Tide Free and Clear at least a half a dozen times from various testing. And I accidentally, or not accidentally, but I didn't think it would happen, I left my DIY Detail sponge in the bucket with one of these, and overnight it broke down enough of the dyes in the towel that it actually permanently stained where it made contact with my Legacy sponge. And so I can honestly say this stuff is extremely powerful and it works great. In fact, it is actually fairly slick on the surface, and we're gonna do a whole wash today, and I'm gonna test out a couple new things. And let me show you, this thing is dirty as heck. Tons of dirt all over this thing. You can see it all on the bottom. And this thing lives in a manufacturing environment. This is a fleet car, company car. So we're doing that today. Gonna shine it up, gonna make it look good, and see how well it cleans. Or I'm going to show you how well it cleans actually, because I've done a bunch of testing on this. But I just wanted to go over that with you. And really, it's a small company. Guy's been in business for a long time. And I will say, in fact, hold on. All right, so let me just say this. Number one, it's not a commercial. Number two, I actually talked with them for about 2 hours. In fact, I had a couple questions for him about the product and about some of the other products he had. But before I talked to him, I wanted to try this stuff out for myself. I didn't want to get any preconceived notions about how well it worked based on, hey, he was a nice guy, or he told me this or that about the product. I tested it out a bunch before. In fact, I had ordered, I have a gallon plus the 16-ounce bottles that I just showed you. So I've been using it quite a bit. This stuff is absolutely fantastic for me. It is not the slickest thing on the market. It is not it doesn't leave any protection, things like that, but it just works really well. And the best part now, the 16-ounce bottle that I just showed you is about 16 bucks. At the time of this recording, it's on sale for, I think, 12 bucks. It's only available on theglossshop.com or on AutoAlity. So check out those two places if you want to buy some. But the gallons, regular price 40 bucks a gallon, and it dilutes 256 to 1. So that is a fantastic deal, a hell of a deal. And not only that, but at the time of the recording, it was on sale for 30 bucks a gallon. So, I mean, 30 bucks a gallon for a rinseless wash that's 256 to 1 is just absolutely spectacular, especially for, you know, twice a week maintenance washes, things like that. Especially if you're a mobile detailer, I mean, you can't beat that price. Now, the other thing too is you can actually dilute it. In fact, what he says is for heavier dirt, dilute it 128 to 1, 64 to 1. You know, you could dilute it heavier and it will not, like, it basically all the way down to, I think, 15 to 1 works as a panel prep to clear things off. You know, you get the oils from polishing off the coat or off your paint and stuff. So anyway, you know, it's just, it's made me a believer, and I want to show you just what you can expect if you were to buy any of this stuff. So without further ado, let's get washing. All right, so I got my bucket of stuff. I got my microfiber towel, my double flip. We're gonna do that on the door. I'm gonna show you just how much dirt is on there. We got our legacy sponge. We'll use that. And I got my Marilex pump spray already full of solution. And then actually I'm gonna try something here. And because I've been testing this out, it's pretty cool. I have extra solution in my bucket. I mixed 4 gallons to 2 ounces. But I have the Mitt on a Stick Pro with their normal cover. Because, and this is what's cool, what I want to do, in fact, let me jump up on my scaffold. If you're using rinseless, especially if it's hot and in the sun, and you're doing an SUV, you can basically reach half of it, and then you got to take everything and move it to the other side, because you don't want to go with your drying towel maybe on half of it or something like that. Or if you spray from over there, you get overspray, and then you got to come back with the drying towel, and you may not want that. So what I want to do is, I've been playing around with it, is to use the Mitt on a Stick Pro, and if I could spray the whole thing, and in fact when I use my my wash keg, I can reach and I could spray the whole top, and I could do the entire top standing on one side of the car with that Mitt on a Stick Pro, and that way I don't have to move my scaffold afterwards. So that's a great thing about it. And you know, if you're trying to save time, if you're a mobile guy and you're trying to save time, you don't want to keep carrying things around, you know, on each side of your car, you know, try that out. But anyway, let's get going. And in fact, even with the pump sprayer, this thing, it puts out a lot of, we can get to the other side no problem. And we're aided by the wind today, so that always helps. So anyway, all right, so what I'm doing, I have my Mitt on the Stick Pro, and I had it soaking in the rinseless. And all I'm gonna do is kind of squeeze out, hopefully. All I do is squeeze a little bit of it out on the thing here. I just go down like this, and it's still dripping. Don't care. So I'm just gonna jump up on here, and so I got my Mitt on a Stick Pro, and this is really nice because I could start on one side, and as you're gonna see, I could literally just go across with this, and now the entire thing here is clean. And just like that, I've already done half the roof. So what I'm gonna do now, because I've done half, and I don't know how dirty the roof was, it didn't look that dirty, but that's what it looks like. I'm gonna rinse this out really quick and then do the back half. All right, here we go. I mean, you could see, I could reach the entire thing over there. And normally I would do this two-handed, so it would make it a lot easier. But you can go, there we go. you can go in any direction. If you want to go forward to backwards, just like this, like let's do that. If you want to do, you know, you could do front to back. But this is just fantastic. And then I just want to make sure I get the side of the roof rails over there. All right, just like that, we are done with the roof, and I'm going to go grab the drying towel. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to leave this dry because we're going to clay this when we're done. So, and then the other nice thing about the Mitt on a stick, let me show you, is that you have a, in fact, I could leave it on the, we'll just lean it up against the car. It's got this super soft, spongy material, and even if it hits the car, it's not going to do any damage. You can smack yourself in the head, it's not going to matter. So this material is great, and I just have it leaning up against the window. So now that the whole roof is done, we are going to, actually I'm going to spray the windshield. I could reach across the whole windshield. There we go. I can reach across the whole windshield and get that done. And well, yeah, look how dirty this mirror is. This is just like nasty, but anyway. All right, we're gonna spray the windshield, get that working. We'll do a pre-soak on the mirror too, because that thing was pretty nasty. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to rinse this out again like we did a minute ago. Let me show you from the other side. So if I want, I can get just this one side here, or I can literally reach across and do the entire windshield. So if you have an SUV, this is a fantastic tool. Now the rest of it we could just get with the sponge. In fact, I'm glad we're going to be claying this because I could literally hear, I could hear and feel in the paint. Like literally I could feel the roughness in the paint. It feels like sandpaper. So we're going to clay this off. Whoever is going to drive this vehicle next is not going to believe how clean it is. All right, so I showed you just how dirty. In fact, you could see now that there's some water on here. You could see just how dirty this door panel is on the Grand Cherokee there. So let's spray this down. Hey everybody, I need to interrupt here really quick because number one, I did not realize, I didn't notice until I was editing yesterday that when I took a close-up of how dirty the car was, I did not realize just how real dirty and how much grit was on the car. You definitely do not want to not rinse in some way, shape, or form all that stuff off the bottom. Pre-spray, do a pre-rinse with the rinseless if you need to. It doesn't take a whole lot. But just get some of that grit off if you can. You really only want, you don't want any grit. And it wouldn't have taken a whole lot if you, especially if you have like a keg wash, something like that, a keg washer, keg sprayer, whatever you want to call it. It wouldn't have taken that much. I didn't realize just how bad it looked until I got in there and editing and started looking at the 4K video. And yeah, it was pretty nasty. So don't do what I did. Number two, in case I didn't mention it, the Sublime, it is one of the best smelling products that I have ever used. It is in the top 5 or best, it's definitely like the best smelling rinseless wash. I just love this stuff. But it is definitely within the top 5 of any detailing product that I've used. So some people love the smell of certain things, and this is one of them that I absolutely love. So let's get back to it. And on this one, we are actually going to, on this door, we are going to use the double flip, and I'm going to show you just how dirty this damn thing is. So we'll start at the top. Now, it's not the slickest thing in the world, but it does feel fairly slick with the double flip, number one. And it cleaned off, or at least it looks like, it appears it cleaned off all that stuff. But look at, just from the mirror, you could see just how much dirt there was just on the window in the mirror. Let's keep going down the door. In fact, I'm going to stop where it says Grand Cherokee. Again, look at that. One side, there's the other side. Now let's flip this and we'll do the bottom. I'm gonna hate to look at this. Oh yeah, tons of dirt. We'll flip this over. We'll just do it one more. And it cleaned well the first time. I don't see any extra dirt. Let me hit the plastic on the bottom now. And you can see just how dirty that plastic was. Pretty nasty. So, and in fact, if we go to the bucket, I'm not really expecting this to completely come off, but the water, you could see the water literally instantly turn dirty. So it is releasing a lot, but it's just, there's just so much dirt on this thing. And if I let this soak or scrub, I mean, there was the first side, you could see a lot of it did come off. And then on the second side, again, a lot of it did come off. So it does release the dirt, but you could just see how dirty that water is just from a door. So nice and clean now. Let's get around to the rest of the car. And once we get done with this half, we'll just stop it right there, and then we'll go to the dry off or the clay process. Now you see me going over this again just because it was so dirty. So, and you need to do that with a rinseless sometimes, or with any wash. If it's just too dirty, you just need to go over it again. You know, go over it as needed. If you need to wash it twice, make it look good. So that's the entire hood already, the windshield, the top, the roof, this whole side. I am going to spray the back and get done with that. All right, now the one good thing when I mixed up 4 gallons. I still have about 1.5 gallons left in the bucket. I'm out in here, so now I just dump more in. In fact, something like this is where an IK sprayer would really come in handy. One of the big, the 12s. All right, so I'm gonna grab my bucket, head around to the other side. All right, guys, I wanna show you something. Just how nasty, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you washed a clean car or whatever it is. I just wanna show you. Let me put this over here, since we're done with that. You can't even see the bottom of this thing. It's literally a couple inches below. You can't see the bottom of this. Now, the other thing too is, yeah, look at that dirt. So, and the other good thing about this, about the Sublime Express Wash, even though it is surfactant based and no polymers, it doesn't foam in the bucket nearly as bad. It does a little bit, but not nearly as bad as the FineLab V3, which to me is fantastic. I hate all that suds, so when you're done, you don't have a car full of suds like with the FineLab V3. So, one more reason to love this stuff. All right, so I got my clay mitt. And again, this stuff is such a fantastic cleaner. Let me put that down there. It literally turned the water pink from the clay mitt. In fact, you can see that now. This started out clear. Now this is diluted, 1:64. So I mixed up 1 gallon and 2 ounces of the Sublime Express Wash. So we'll pump this up and get going on the hood. But you know what? Just a couple passes and it's already smoothing out. Few passes with the clay mitt though, this thing is super clean. A little bit more lubrication. No pressure, you just want to slide this across the surface. All right, half the roof done. Let's get working on the other half. All right, rinseless wash, all done now with the Sublime Express Wash, rinseless wash, and then we clayed the car. So we did 256:1 to clean it. Then we clayed the whole thing using a 64:1 dilution ratio as the clay lube. And now we have a nice slick paint. And for the last step protection, we are going to use another gloss shop product, which I will show you in a second. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to do that in a completely separate video. So anyway, Richard, the owner at the gloss shop, came up with a great product many years ago. He traveled the world with it. In the military, he tested it around the world. It works on all kinds of dirt. He's in, the gloss shop is in West Virginia, based in West Virginia. So they get winter, you know, it's not a Florida or Texas or Arizona based company. So it is more in line with the dirt that I have in my area in Cleveland. But I mean, you could just see the reflection. I could see clouds. This is super smooth now. When I was going over it, you know, with the lube, there's no more sandpaper feel. And so this, in conjunction even with the clay mitt that I had, which just worked great, worked on the roof. In fact, let me step back. This thing it's got a nice shine to it. And if you remember, I mean, the whole door side was dirty. In fact, I gotta dry it up a little bit more because I got the drippage from the mirror. But the whole side, I mean, the thing was just trashed. Rinseless wash for the win. Clay lube, or clay, diluted as clay lube. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you wish. You have a great day. See you later. Bye.